Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Legacy of Leaders. I'm Alex Kellison with Heritage Capital Group, and joining us today is Sonya Marchisillo with Pinnacle Communications Group. Sonya,
Morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So I understand you started a business during the pandemic with two relatively young daughters. Tell me a bit about how and why you started your business.
I think the biggest thing is 18 to 22-year-olds kind of got lost in the shuffle when the pandemic happened. And so because there wasn't an outlet for them, I needed to create it. And that's really what happened with Pinnacle Communications Group being born. So I'm a pandemicpreneur, and I launched a company in the middle of a pandemic with two 18-year-olds.
Did you coin the term pandemicpreneur, or
Yes.
is that something?
You know, it's funny. I actually said that, and someone else asked me. They said, I've never heard that. And I thought, did I really invent that? I have no idea.
I think you may have.
Potentially.
Okay.
I'll just chalk it up to one of the other accolades, right?
Right. Okay, so you started it, and really what you had in the background of your mind was the situation that was going on and what was happening, particularly with the ability to connect with other people.
Right.
Right. And so what were your goals when you set out on this mission?
We really weren't sure. We wanted to do launch a company that was going to be sustainable inside a pandemic and outside. So we really kind of drilled down and looked at retail. Everything kept coming back to retail. We drilled down a little bit more, and then we found out that technology is something that is both sustainable inside or outside of a pandemic. Then we really kind of drilled down again and looking at security and communication and people's ability to really stay connected inside the pandemic and what that looked like, because it was so unpredictable. And when that happened, we really kind of just said, all right, well, if there's not an opportunity, then we have to create it. And if we're going to create it, let's create it with something that requires us to really dig in, and it has to have a passion behind it. And then we really looked at 5% of women are in technology. 2.5% are minority women. 0.5 are an actual founder, or they hold a C-suite chair. And so when I talked to the girls and we decided we're going to move the needle. We are going to be the game changers. We are going to be the ones who come in and really kind of help to hold and open a platform for women in technology.
Really? So tons of challenges abound with that, I'm sure. You mentioned the statistics of low participation, women in leadership and technology. What were some of the most difficult challenges you came across beyond just, I guess, social perceptions or issues where getting through a gatekeeper or, being a woman of a minority background? What were some of just, I guess, the pandemicpreneur challenges specific to what you came across?
I think inside of the pandemic, it was access to capital. I think it was contract opportunity. And it was also some of these tenured companies that really didn't know us, and we were really trying to collab with them. And I think we were looked at more as just a direct competition, but we really weren't competing because we weren't there yet. So really trying to get those doors open to say, hey, we want to collab with you. We want to work with you. And those were some of the biggest obstacles, when we were inside of what was really going on at that time.
If you could talk to yourself from 3 years ago, what advice would you give yourself, knowing what you know now?
I think the couple of things that I would have done differently. I think that I probably would have maybe scaled a little slower. It kind of got away from me. I mean, we really just our trajectory went straight north, and we really just took off. And I think I wasn't really prepared for the immense and immediate success. I think that maybe if I would have scaled back a little bit, slowed down a little bit more, maybe we could have got a little quicker foundation and footing. But it's just not my personality to do anything on a slow scale, so I don't think it fit very well. But I think that's the biggest thing, is really just kind of taking it a little bit slower, one step at a time.
Oh, no, that makes a lot of sense. What do you want people listening to this to know about you or about Pinnacle that you want them to retain and make a lasting impression about?
I think the biggest thing is Pinnacle is, really wants to be here and be a voice. My legacy will be, I was a voice for women. I was a voice for women in technology. I was a voice for just championing women altogether. And I think Pinnacle really kind of sets the tone for that. Being women in a male-dominated industry and really kind of going after some of the big projects and being able to compete on that level. I think knowing that my company is a case study, we're a proven concept, I just think that hopefully that will open the door for other women to really kind of find their power and really help empower them to, take that step of that leap of faith and get out there and do it.
Excellent. Well, that's, I think, a great parting message to wrap up our communication today with is just, starting something, having the guts to do it on your own, having the belief in yourself, and then being an example to somebody that might have doubts about their abilities to do something like what you did is just, it's always good to see a great live example. So thank you for sharing your story with us today. And if you'd like to learn more about Sonya or Pinnacle, visit iwannabuzz.com. Thanks, everyone. Have a good morning.